Good evening. Welcome to Harry faculty, members of the community, parents, families, and most importantly, our classmates. My name is Jonathan Perry, and I am Vice President of the Class of 2020. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing, and the national anthem is next.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets decked there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the long-awaited graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. As principal of NHRHS High School, I couldn't be prouder of each and every one of you in the graduating class, as well as the unbelievably supporting and hardworking teachers, incredible support staff, and caring family members who have helped guide you along the way. Today's ceremony is the culmination of a very unique senior year, to say the least. There are many individuals who have helped make this moment possible, and I would like to take the moment to thank each of them for their efforts. Our fabulous assistant principal, Ms. Stroley. Good, you can clap, it's okay. Mr. Oresco and the entire custodial staff, Ms. Evans and Ms. Siratan, our crazy class advisors, Mr. Boccaccio and Ms. Parthasarthi, the administrative assistance team of Ms. Tomasi and Ms. Chamberlain. Thank you for all you have done to make this event possible. I would also like to thank and welcome the board members, distinguished guests, and our district administrators as well. Thank you for joining us today in person or via YouTube to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. Through your continued efforts and support, these outstanding individuals have earned the opportunity to accept their diplomas this evening. Please join me in a round of applause to thank each of those individuals who have supported these graduates through their journey. I'm not reading the same speech twice. To the students of class of 2020, the word resilient comes to mind. Over the course of your high school career, you have experienced many challenges across the educational landscape, in your personal lives, and in the world around us, not to mention the events that took place during your senior year. Through it all, you have demonstrated a remarkable ability to be unwavering and to continue to push through challenges set for you. I would consider you all champions. Recently, I've been taking up running. I know, you can tell I'm a beacon of physical fitness. During one of my painful escapades, a song came on whose lyrics drew my mind to thinking of this class. Carrie Underwood and Ludacris described the class of 2020 perfectly in their song Champion, and no, I will not rap that song. However, I will share with you what the word champion stands for in my eyes. C is for the courage you possess through the drama. H is for the hurt, but it's all for the honor. A is for your attitude, working through with patience. Money comes and goes, so M is for motivation. Gotta stay consistent. P is for perseverance. The I is for integrity, innovative career. The O is optimistic, open and never shut. And the N is necessary because you're never giving up. That wasn't bad, right? Right. I can't tell you how many times I practiced that not to fumble it. These words gave me goosebumps when I heard them. Possibly my body's response to the pain that was running through my chest during my run, or more likely, because these words describe exactly who you are as people. No matter what you have faced through your high school career, you have risen to the challenge and have overcome obstacles. Champion. Apply this same passion and resiliency through the rest of your life, and there is no limit to the successes that will come your way. Congratulations, class of 2020. We're all proud of you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Molly Freeman, and I'm the treasurer for the class of 2020. Tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing our incredible guest speaker, Mrs. Erlinson. While some members of our class, such as myself, have had the privilege of knowing Mrs. Erlinson since freshman year, many of us have just gotten the opportunity to know her this year in the Senior World Literature class. However, despite the amount of time she's been in each of our lives, Mrs. Erlinson has had the ability to have an extremely powerful impact on each and every person in the class of 2020. Without a doubt, Mrs. Erlinson is one of the most selfless people I've ever met in my life. The fact that she cares so much about each of her students is always evident by the amount of time she puts into planning lessons and her constant availability to meet with students and provide support, whether it be for school or for our personal lives. She makes each of us feel important and valued, and is the perfect example of what it means to be an amazing human being. She is someone students look up to and aspire to be, as she always puts others before herself and values each person she comes across. Her classroom is a safe space at our school and in many of our lives, where we are able to be ourselves and know that there is someone that truly values us and wants us to succeed, both as students and individuals in the world. Something as simple as having a conversation with her can completely turn your day around. Mrs. Erlinson has made our time at Hale Ray so memorable both before and after the pandemic, where she provided a constant support system for students and made learning so much fun. I will never forget how patient she was during our school trip to Costa Rica, showing us all how to go out in the world and make a difference, and to take advantage of the opportunities we were given, even if it means ziplining through a rainforest. She showed us compassion in our tribes class and let us know that she was always there for us, no matter what. And her passion for literary works such as Beowulf, Macbeth, and Night made class so enjoyable and a part of high school students will remember for the rest of their lives. Now, please give a warm welcome to the person who has changed all of our lives here at Hale Ray, Mrs. Bridget Erlinson.
Thank you, Molly. Good evening, parents and guardians, administrators, and East Haddam School District staff. To our friends, family, faculty, and community members watching virtually, welcome. Most importantly, good evening to our seniors. It's been a long 5 months not being able to see you, and it's good to be back together again. It's almost like deja vu. My name is Bridget Erlinson. I was selected by the class of 2020 to give tonight's commencement speech. As one of the 4 English teachers at Hale Ray, I was fortunate enough to have many of the students in my senior world literature classes this past year. A few of these students I even had their sophomore year, which to some of them probably is not that lucky. For those of you who I did not share space in room 222 together, I'm thankful that I was able to experience time with you at Hale Ray in the halls, on the field, or in the classroom. To set the stage, I want to flash way back to September. This is when I first introduced a brand new challenge to the seniors, Teach Me Tuesdays. The structure of this assessment was to provide an opportunity for the student to teach their peers through a self-created mini lesson. The subject of each person's mini lesson was completely chosen and created by the individual student, but had to highlight a strength, a passion, a hobby, or a skill the student found valuable, and most importantly, wanted to teach to others. The student would be successful when they positively contributed their talents and strengths to foster connections between their peers. The teachers in East Haddam do everything they can to prepare our students for success at the next level, and we believe that part of that success is having the ability to instruct and to lead others. The Teach Me Tuesdays encourage the students to do just this. To be able to teach others is a skill that is transferable to all aspects of life, a skill that is vital for our success. The Teach Me Tuesdays required a lot of preparation, a lot of new learning, a lot of letting go of control by me, and for those of you that know me, that's really difficult. I was apprehensive but excited to see what the students had to share, and little did I know what was in store for all of us. As the year started and then progressed, the Teach Me Tuesdays were proving to be a huge success. Dare I say, the students looked forward to them and they were fun. And then, just as we were hitting the downhill pace, the whole world shut down. We had to adjust to a new lifestyle, new demands, new learning, and our seniors had to finish their tenure in East Haddam in a completely virtual manner. These humans did not miss a beat, crafting dynamic and applicable Teach Me Tuesdays centered on our new quarantined reality. Even those who did not complete a Teach Me Tuesday were still helping others learn in their own unique ways. In this new environment, the students and their families showed strength, determination, grit, and perseverance. As the year came to an end, I reflected on all that I had learned as an educator. Did we all spend endless hours researching, learning, experimenting, and failing just to start over again the next day? Yes. Did we have great successes and severe missteps? Yes. Were there moments when we put our sweat and tears into what we were doing and other moments where we just wanted to hide under the covers and avoid it all? Oh yes, lots and lots of those moments. But in the end, when I look back on the spring, I saw a pattern. Through reflection, I realized that so much of what I learned was actually taught to me by these seniors. It's now that I have the opportunity to share those life lessons with you. Class of 2020 seniors, these are the life lessons you taught us that we will never forget and I will cherish forever. Michael Lacasse reminded us of the importance of the if-then statement, and that code translates to real life and can be really funny. Olivia Lavoie demonstrated how to be resilient and how to smile in the face of adversity. Logan Leach showed us the power of being the master of your own destiny, and that learning moves beyond four walls. Max Lennon taught us the intricacies of knowing what to use and when to use it, and that there's always time to get out and enjoy life on the water. Tyler Levesque challenged us to become entrepreneurs, but continues to show us every day what it means to serve the community of East Haddam. John Linares demonstrated that the smallest knot can have the greatest strength, and that tenacity and grit pay off. Audra Lisowicz showed us what courage looks like and how strength and power can be found in our own voice. Ethan Marion taught us when to hold a poker face, but also when to put all the cards on the table. Jenna Massey taught us how to cheer for the underdog and find the power in our voice. Jack Miner showed us what it is to be a good teammate and that we all just need to do our job. Aaron Wilkinson taught us to create friendships and to show gratitude with just a few pieces of string. Juliet Morgan showed us how giving back to the community demonstrates true character and humility. Sky Murray demonstrated how to create your own path, move your own mountain, and that family will be there along the whole entire journey. Alex Nichols taught us that there is more than one way to get a job done, just like there is more than one side to every person, which you can see if you just take the time to recognize who they truly are. Jonathan Perry demonstrated that things are not always what they seem and that there's a little bit of magic all around us. Isabella Pizzonia taught us integrity and strength through her words and her actions. Michael Quinn showed us what it means to be a leader, and that representing each of us is the key to uniting all of us. Carter Ruffalo shared his passion and allowed us to make mistakes, but encouraged us to never give up. Joe Real showed us what hard work, perseverance, and ownership looks like, both in the classroom and outside of school. Tricia Riley taught us ways to maintain our mental health, and that seeing the positives, sharing emotions, and engaging in happiness are vital aspects of self-care. Jesse Ruckers showed us that antiques tell stories, and that those stories define parts of our identities. Noah Sanders demonstrated that true intellect and tolerance can be quiet and powerful. Brooks Yanni showed us how to protect ourselves, that the strength of mind is as powerful as the strength of body. Eric Sikorsky taught us how to drive with both feet and showed us the reason for knowing the purpose. Jacob Soussier showed us how to build a game to regulation and that friendly competition is healthy and builds character. Tucker Stanley taught us that some of our greatest learning happens when we are driving, digging, climbing, wiring, and building. Olivia Tarnowski taught us that caring for the smallest humans can sometimes bring about the biggest challenges and the greatest learning. Lucas Thayer showed us what it is to create and how art is both practical and beautiful. Cody Bellicamp challenged us to be a leader on and off the mound and how to be the one who throws the curveball, not the one who chases it. Todd Ventris taught us that everything is better with a good partner, and winning is exponentially easier when the partner knows how to play. Andrew Warren showed us what passion and loyalty looks like, even if it wears green and white. Rachel Winokur taught us about the importance of rest and that we need to take care of ourselves in order to take care of others. Madison Wolfrat showed us that through great struggles comes great learning, and sometimes that learning comes in the form of a color-coded outline. Maggie Zemaneski demonstrated there are great moments of play that happen in all hard hours of work. And finally, Jasmine Jebron put it all in perspective and taught us that having depth and breadth is the true key to intelligence and character. So thank you to the class of 2020 for a memorable and educational year. In a year that has refined teaching, you have been the leaders we have hoped for. I know you will forever impact the people around you, as you have already proved to be a phenomenal teacher to the most difficult student, me. Thank you.
At this time, please enjoy a song by our choral students, A Wonderful Life, a song for the class of 2020.
Take a look around and see the world we think we know, and then look closer. There's more to life than meets the eye, of beauty to behold. It's so much bigger than
I promise I can find it by myself this time. My name is Angelina Caminati, and I'm the class secretary, and I'm reciting my own poem for all of you. I encourage you all to reflect on this year as the greatest lesson of your school career. We'd already planned our futures and goals when circumstance ripped them from our control. And in all the trouble, when skies were gray, some words of wisdom shone through like the break of day. Bad things sometimes happen that you cannot fix, but you're not defined by what you control, rather how you take the licks. Collectively, adversity has ignited change in us. Individually, we'll take steps forward and seek to adjust. Moving onward will be found in the unique position to make teaching others our fundamental mission. The new millennia birthed a generation with a cause, one that knows no limitations and no mortal laws. We've learned to be resilient and can withstand the test because we are revolutionaries above all the rest. Thank you.
Don't worry, let's hope the joke's just as funny the second time. Good evening, families, teachers, administrators, and most importantly, class of 2020. I'd like to start off by thanking the entire high school staff and the community of East Haddam for coming together during these unprecedented times to advocate for my fellow classmates' best interests. Although my neighbors are definitely tired of honking parades, I appreciated every effort the high school staff made to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2020. I'd also like to thank the Project Graduation Committee. Even though the event couldn't happen this year, all your hard work in planning, fundraising, and organizing did not go unnoticed. I would also like to give a shout out to Mr. Piccaccio and Mrs. Parksarpy, our class advisors. The energy and motivation that these two brought to each meeting was inspiring to see as a student, as well as a class officer. And finally, I'd like to thank my family and friends for supporting me throughout my education. As we gather here today to conclude the 4 years of hard work and dedication, I'm sure that you can't help but notice that this is unlike any graduation ceremony in NHRHS high school history. Back in March, we were given notice on Friday the 13th that schools would be closed for 2 weeks in order to limit the spread of COVID-19. Little did we know that these 2 weeks would turn into the remainder of the year. As I'm sure many of my classmates can agree, those few months of distance learning were difficult, and they weren't necessarily difficult due to the schoolwork, but they were difficult due to the emotional stress that this virus brought upon us all. Personally, it felt really weird to be upset and disappointed that I wasn't in school. Never thought I would say that. Before coronavirus, I never truly appreciated the importance of in-person conversations that high school provided on a daily basis. And during those months of being in my house 24/7, I found myself angry and upset that the senior year that we dreamed about for years was suddenly taken away from us. And this frustration and anger that built up reminded me of something that my parents used to tell me when I was younger. First, let me provide some background information. So, for those of you who don't know, I have 2 older siblings. And for those parents out there with more than one child, or for anyone that has a sibling, you know quite well that siblings fight and complain when things don't go their way. I was no exception. When I was younger, I would find myself in arguments with my older brother, and 9 times out of 10, the argument would take place over something that had absolutely no impact on my life. My parents, fully aware of the ridiculousness of said arguments, would tell me, "Michael, life's not fair," in response to my pettiness. At the time, "life's not fair" was used when my brother got to use the Wii before I did, or when I was forced to sit in the middle seat of the car, or when we didn't have power for 6 days. But not once did it cross my mind that the term "life's not fair" could be used in response to a global pandemic that shut the entire world down for months. But here we are. We all had to learn the hard way that life keeps moving, and it isn't going to stop for anyone, especially for a small senior class located in a very small town in Connecticut. Since life doesn't stop moving, you shouldn't either. No matter what is going on in the outside world, it is important to maintain and work towards goals that could benefit yourself as well as others. Regardless of the circumstance that life puts you in, good or bad, take charge of your desires, take advantage of all the opportunities presented to you, because they may only come around once. In just a few weeks, the class of 2020 will be parting our own ways. We will all work together towards the future of this country through hard work and innovation. Along the way, we may find ourselves overwhelmed with the seemingly endless cycle of work, school, or other tasks that not only take away valuable time from oneself, but leave a negative impact on one's mental health. So I ask the class of 2020 to slow down and appreciate life in the moment. Search for happiness in everything that you do, because you only live once. I would have said YOLO again, but you guys seemed to cringe at that last time. So Life may not always be fair, but there's still a lot of great things about it that deserve recognition. To conclude, I would like to thank my class for a great 4 years of high school. Although it didn't exactly end how we planned, it was still fun while it lasted. If you ever find yourself down or with lack of motivation, just remember, we all persevered through a global pandemic and completed our education despite all the stress and distractions that this virus brought upon us all. I think that's something to be proud of. Stay safe, and I wish everyone the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
Good evening, class of 2020, parents, guests, and faculty of Nathan-Hale High School, and thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Molly Freeman, and I am the class of 2020 salutatorian. I would like to extend a giant thank you to my parents and sister, who were here earlier, to my teachers, administration, and staff members at Hale Ray, who have shown me so much compassion throughout my time at high school. Your commitment to your students and the ability to go above and beyond to help us succeed is something I'll never forget. And of course, thank you to my wonderful classmates for always being there for me and helping me make my way through high school. I couldn't have done it without you all. While this ceremony might not be like a traditional graduation, it is a symbol of how far we have come as a class, and I'm so grateful that you're all here to celebrate with us. When we started our high school journey 4 years ago, I know I had never thought our senior year would look the way it did. In fact, I'd be pretty amazed if anyone did. While we may have experienced a different senior year than the classes before us and missed out on a lot of traditional senior year events, we still have so many amazing memories from our time together at Hale Ray. And even though it may be difficult to see right now, we have learned many valuable lessons from this pandemic that will truly benefit us in our futures. Since the day school was officially canceled and we turned our lives upside down, I struggled with the realization I wouldn't get to experience many of the things I normally would have in my senior year. Just like everyone here, not being able to see my friends, teachers, and family outside my house was extremely difficult for me. All of a sudden, we were expected to uproot our lives and settle into a new normal, a world full of uncertainties about what would come next. However, as I look back at my time at Hale Ray, including these past few months, I realize that this change has taught me so many valuable lessons that will help me be a more successful person in the future. This pandemic has taught us so much about ourselves and the world around us, and has given us skills to help make a positive change in the world. We've seen the value of helping others and not taking aspects of life for granted, and now we have a new appreciation for the world we live in. Throughout my 4 years at Hale Ray, I learned the importance of helping others and putting others before myself, a value that was strengthened throughout the pandemic. I share many incredible memories with many of you of collecting school supplies for children in Costa Rica, and seeing the happiness on these kids' faces when we handed over the bags of art supplies, notebooks, toys, and jerseys from previous soccer teams at Hale Ray to the students in that country. We've even filled kids in a local Costa Rican orphanage with joy as we purchased a new couch and everyday supplies they needed for their building. These experiences that Hale Ray has provided have not only taught me, but many of my classmates the benefits of kindness and selflessness. The teachers, staff, and administration have exemplified this value every day we set foot in the high school, in ways such as Ms. Erlinson's Trusting Tribes class, where she showed us the value of putting others before ourselves, and our student council officer meetings, where our self-advisors would come into school early in order to meet with us about upcoming events. We have witnessed countless acts of kindness throughout our time at Hale Ray, teaching us the importance of valuing others. The pandemic only enhanced this value in many of us, teaching us the benefits of coming together for the greater good. I can't stress how important it is to treat others with kindness and respect. If you do so, your life will be filled with gratitude and the world will be a much better place. We have also learned not to take anything in our lives for granted. 5 months ago, we suddenly found ourselves without many of the aspects of life that made it so special. Although I always enjoyed school, I'll be honest, I had days like everyone else where I wanted to stay in bed and said I didn't want to go to school, I wanted to stay home. I don't think I truly understood the value of learning and education before the pandemic hit. I realized that there were days, as I'm sure many of you can relate, I took education and school for granted. However, this pandemic has taught me the true value of education. It wasn't until I couldn't go to school anymore that I realized how good I had it. As we all part our ways and move on to the next chapter in our life, I advise you to do the same. No matter if you're moving on to attend a college or university, go directly into a career field, or join the military, my advice for you is to never take learning or knowledge for granted. Take advantage of the opportunities you'll be offered to learn and be a lifelong learner. Throughout the pandemic, I believe we all learned the importance of doing so. Although this year has been incredibly difficult and challenging, I would never ask for a different experience. I'm so grateful for all the Hail Ray community has done to celebrate our senior year, and can't thank everyone enough for making it so special. I'm so very proud to be a member of the class of 2020, especially graduating from Hail Ray. We're a unique class and always have been. From the start of freshman year, we knew we were a class like no other, especially with the whole class color incident. Despite what we have been through, we are still here. We made it, and we're graduating, celebrating the outstanding achievements we've made over the past 4 years. And while we may have had a difficult past few months, and will face more challenges in the future, we have so many years ahead of us to fill with great memories, joy, and more achievements. Our lives have only just begun. Thank you all for an amazing 4 years of high school. Now, as you leave Hail Ray, go out and make the world a better place. You're all capable of doing so. Congratulations, class of 2020, and good luck as you begin your next chapters of life. Thank you.
I would like to offer my heartfelt congratulations to every member of Nathan Hale Ray High School class of 2020. It has been a privilege and an honor to serve you as your principal. I wish you all the very best. Mr. Reese, I present to you the members of the class of 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Eckert. Good evening. I want to start by thanking those who bring us here tonight. Thank you to the Board of Education. Thank you to the Board of Selectmen. Thank you to our faculty and staff. And thank you to parents who have been so patient along the way of getting here. And congratulations to you students. We are so happy and proud of you that we're going to do this again. Note for the future, if you're going to have a speech again, don't wrinkle it up and stuff it in your pocket. Parents, faculty, and graduates, congratulations. The road to graduation has never had so many twists and turns. I think it's appropriate to compare this journey to the yellow brick road that Dorothy and her crew encountered. Lions, tigers, bears are a welcome distraction at this point. You have persevered, and you are here tonight because you wanted this to happen, and you were willing to work for it, and you were willing to say, yes, you were willing to wait for it. Congratulations on coming through a time like no other and like none other. This has not been an easy road for many of you. You have had to keep your head up, push your head up at times, hold your head up at times, sometimes even with stubborn tenacity. For you whom still feel the weight of holding your head up, I want to share the words of Helen Keller. They are, "Once I knew only darkness and stillness. My life was without past or future. But a little word from fingers of another fell into my hand that clutched at emptiness, and my heart leaped to the rapture of living." Many of you have been and will be extending your hand to another. Many of you have and will be receiving a hand of another to help you through. This is what you're going to do as a great class of 2020. You will persevere, and you will do great things because you are, like none other, the class of 2020. Congratulations, Hale Ray graduates. As the superintendent of East Haddam Public Schools, I hereby certify that these graduating students have satisfactorily completed the prescribed courses of study for the several grade levels in accordance with their abilities to achieve, that they have satisfactorily passed any examinations and/or standards established by the faculty and approved by the Board of Education, that they have fulfilled the legally mandated number and distribution of credits, and that they have successfully demonstrated the performance expectations identified by the East Haddam Board of Education in compliance with all state and federal legislation. Therefore, it is my honor to hereby present to you the graduating class of 2020. At this time, I would like to invite the Board of Education Chair, Mr. Mark Pisciotti, to come to the stage for the presentation of diplomas.
Thank you, Superintendent Reese. Good evening and welcome, parents, guardians, faculty, guests, and most importantly, the graduation class of 2020. Parents and guardians, without your support and guidance, I am sure the graduates would not be where they are today, so thank you. 2020, a school year like no other that we can remember. With all of its obstacles and losses, you graduates were able to show us courage, commitment, conviction, determination, and grit. In doing so, you proved that there is no obstacle too big for you to hurdle, no challenge that you cannot conquer, and there is no substitute for the human spirit that refuses to quit. Thank you for being here tonight and letting everyone know how great Hale Ray students are. On behalf of the East Haddam Board of Education, the Ray Board, and the town of East Haddam, congratulations. We wish you the best of luck, health, and happiness as you move forward in your journey. Congratulations, class of 2020.
All right, graduates, let's finish this up. Can row 4 please stand? Olivia Marie Lavoie. Logan Daniel Leach. Maxwell Richard Lennon. Graduates, you may be seated. Will our next row please stand? Tyler James Levesque. John Paul Linares. Audra Rose Lisowitz. Ethan Jacob Marion. Jenna Nicole Massey. Jack Parker Minor. Erin Sheila Mulkenton. Juliet Anna Morgan. Sky Marie Murray. Alex Nichols. Graduates, you may be seated, and will our next row please stand? At this time, I would like to invite up our former Board of Education Chair and current Board of Education member, Mr. Perry. Mr. Brian Perry, if you can please present your diploma to your son. Jonathan Perry. Michael James Quinn. Carter Joseph Rafala. Joseph Sebastian Real. Patricia Rains Riley. Jesse James Rucker. Noah Thomas Sanders. Brooke Diane Ciani. Eric Edward Sikorsky. Jacob Daniel Saucier. Graduates, you may be seated. And will our last row please stand? Tucker Eric Stanley. Olivia Helen Tarnowski. Lucas Riley Thayer. Cody John Vellicana. Todd Robert Ventris. Andrew Michael Warren. Madison Elizabeth Wolfrat. Magdalene May Zimineski. Jasmine Ashley Gibran. At this time, we ask all graduates to please stand for the alma mater. And now it's the moment we've all been waiting for. I'd like to invite up Mrs. Parthasarthi and Mr. Boccaccio for the finale.
I don't know if we can live up to that.
You guys ready for some more t-shirts?
Okay, first, we need to remind you that Mr. Eckert's going to dismiss the graduates row by row, okay? And then the parents.
3, 2, 1. Congratulations, class of 2020! Turn your tassels!
Woo! We love you.
All right, if you're staying for the third session, no, I'm just kidding. All right, congratulations to all the graduates. We are extremely proud of you. So let's gather your things and let's start to head out. So front row, make sure you've got all of your stuff. You can see they got quite a few goodies. All right, front row, we're going to head up and out. Go ahead. Thank you. Second row, go ahead and follow after the last person in front row. Fourth row, go ahead. Go ahead, Tyler. Parents on the left side, please follow the graduates. Thank you. Parents on the right side, you're welcome to leave as well. Thank you for your cooperation.